Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show. Today is August the 15th, Saturday, August the 15th. Three games in the WNBA for today. We will break them all down. It's about 7:45 Eastern Standard Time on the Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast. 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. Um and yeah, we're gonna jump into it, man. Yesterday, I told you guys I liked Indy. They got the job done even though it was late, really all fourth quarter. And then Elena Smith, over her 11 and a half points. You got to just eat that. She shot the ball as many times as I thought she would. She played as many minutes as I thought she would. She just didn't score. I think she was 4 for 11 and did stay under her points. Leah Boston also had a really, really slow night. I didn't anticipate that. And then Seattle, minus the 2.5 money line. Definitely wanted to wait on to see what happened with Carla Late. She got ruled in, and Portland swept the season series between them and the Seattle Storm. So Seattle couldn't even get the job done at home last night, and I thought that they would. So that would have been a loser, but I definitely wasn't going to play that without knowing the status of Carla Late because Seattle was also down Flajay Johnson, and Seattle sucks even if they have Flajay, especially at winning. If they're getting, a lot of points, maybe, but winning games, that's not what they're into doing right now. So, yeah, we'll move forward into today. Hopefully, you guys found some winners yesterday. Let's jump into it. So, we'll start off with Jackson. Jackson is back for today. Same prompt that we've been using. If you're new to the channel, this player prop prompt is what we have been using, and it's been pretty good. So the prompt is this: if you check out the link in the description for Jackson, you can save yourself some coin when you sign up, but and then you can go through and use it to help you handicap the game. So today's prompt: analyze today's WNBA slate to identify the highest value opportunities for player props. Focus on lines that show a significant discrepancy against 5-game rolling averages. Tracking changes in usage rate due to injuries or favorable defensive matchups, specifically targeting matchups in points, rebounds, or assists. Provide the data, underlying metrics, and reasoning for each recommendation. So Jackson likes Jackie Young over her 18 and a half points. It says that she's currently playing at an elite level that far exceeds her season average of 18.74. Over her last 5 games, she's averaging a staggering 26 points per game, hitting over the 18 and a half line in 100% of those contests. Her 10-game rolling average is nearly as impressive, averaging 25 points, 90% hit rate to the over. This represents a significant discrepancy between her current form and the 18 and a half line offered by odds makers. The matchup analysis, it says the Aces face the Minnesota Lynx, who rank 7th in defense against the guard position. While not a bottom tier defense, they have struggled to contain Young recently. She's averaged 19 and a half points in 2 meetings against them over the 2026-2027 cycle. Young's usage remains high as the Aces push for playoff positioning, currently sitting just 2 games behind the 3rd seed. So there's some news and narrative stuff here as well. But yeah, this is Jackie's just hooping, man. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, like, it really don't matter what her points is right now. You just take the over, even though she did shoot the ball pretty poorly. We'll see how she does tomorrow against the Atlanta Dream. But yeah, that'll be the player prop or the play in general for today with Jackson. Let's jump into the 3 matchups, man. So we start off with the first one, the Connecticut Sun and the New York Liberty. I'll be on this one for just a quick second. It's definitely not my favorite game on the board for today, not even close. And I'm probably not going to play it if I'm being completely honest. So Sabrina, and this is a part of it too, the injury report. Sabrina's listed as questionable. She did leave that last game. She came back and sat on the bench, but I don't think they did need her because, the New York Liberty gave up, I know it was at least a 20-point lead against the Connecticut Sun. Against the Los Angeles Sparks in that last game. But Sabrina, went down. So we'll see if she plays. Connecticut has not been serious about playing basketball as of late. So maybe, New York's coach doesn't, take the Connecticut Sun serious for whatever reason, because they haven't been taking themselves serious. So we'll see if Sabrina plays. Can they get the job done without Sabrina? You would think. But they're still shorthanded. There's still no Leone Fevich. There still is no, Sibley. So we'll see. On the other side of things, also can't play it because Brittany Griner and Aaliyah Edwards are both listed as questionable. We got a New York team that's been terrible, just 4-12 ATS on the road this season, just 2-8 in their last 10. Only 1 day of rest here. Again, they beat the Sparks by 4, but they were laying 8.5, so they didn't cover that game. Recently, they've beaten up on the lesser tens, but have lost to the good teams and haven't played a lot of good teams recently. I was looking through their schedule. They've only played the only 3 times that they played a team. The only 3 teams that they've played in their last 10 good teams were a loss to Indiana, which we just saw last week, a loss to Las Vegas, which they did play hard in that game, and then a 1-point win to the Dallas Wings, which didn't have Paige Beckers in that one. So they're not a buy-on team, in my opinion, right now. Especially with the way that they closed their game out against the Sparks. I want nothing to do with this, with the New York Liberty laying points. And then on the opposite side, conversely with Connecticut, they got absolutely slaughtered by Atlanta in their last game, 104-69. Was never really close. They were coming off 5 days rest, so you expected a little bit more effort and energy from them. But yeah, you didn't get anything. They're 3-7 ATS in their last 10 games, 1-6 in their last 7, and 3 straight unders. Offensively, they've struggled, and its total starting to come down. It was 174.5 yesterday. It's down to 172. If Brittany Griner plays, I think that slows the pace down. If Sabrina doesn't play, of course, New York's offense isn't going to be as good. Third matchup of the season, New York they won both. Covered the first, did not cover the second. Both were at the beginning of the season and both went over. It was a 169.5 and a 163.5. So I think this total was a tad bit too high. I didn't get the best of the number. But again, I want to see what happens with the injury report. I know I'm not playing the side, though. These are the 2 worst ATS teams post All-Star break, though, 14th and 15th. So I want nothing to do with either one of these teams ATS-wise, and I hope that you guys found that analysis helpful. Nothing for me in this game at all is what I would be betting. Next game up is the Los Angeles Sparks, and the Washington Mystics. So line this one was at about 6.5 yesterday. It's up to 7 now. Total was at 173 and it's come down to 171.5. On the injury report here, we got Cameron Brink for the Sparks listed as questionable. Akua Makani is listed as out. And then on the Washington side of things, I didn't see anybody on the injury report. So for the Sparks, it's a tricky game because as much as Washington has been playing some really good basketball before running into the Aces back-to-back games, it's a pretty big number to lay with them. And the Sparks have been covering as road dogs. I think they're 8-4 ATS when I was looking at it earlier this season. When they've been getting points on the road, they just, covered a game against the New York Liberty, and they had to come back and fight to, just come back from a big deficit in that game. So it's the second straight road game for the Sparks. They've lost 3 in a row, but they have covered 3 of their last 4. So they've still been competitive. On the Washington side of things, again, coming off back-to-back losses to the Aces, but before that, they were rolling. Both of those games went under as well. Only 1 day of rest here as well. And not the greatest travel spot, with their last 2 games being in Vegas, of course, and being played on the West Coast. Washington does have 1 extra day off of rest after this game compared to the Sparks. And I guess with the 2 games being being at home, with the 2 games that they played on the road being in the same arena, I guess it's not as much travel, but you still only got 1 day to get all the way across the country, whereas the Sparks were in New York, and New York to DC is a really short flight. It's a tough game, man. I know that the Sparks are playing much better basketball. I mean, I know that the Mystics are playing much better basketball. You just worry. I worry when I see the Mystics laying this many points. They haven't been good as a home favorite this season. However, if you look at their last few games, they have been a little bit better. So when I was looking at the Mystics as home favorites this season, they are, let's see, just 2-5 ATS, but the last 2 have been the ones that they've covered. They beat the Sun, they beat the Mercury. Neither one of them were really close. An 8-point win against the Sun and a 20-point win against the Mercury. Before that, they hadn't covered any, and both of those games went over the total. I kind of think that this game goes under. I kind of think the Sparks going to struggle to score the basketball. When I was looking at the Sparks as road dogs, the last 5 they have failed to hit the last 5 have gone under, and they've failed to hit their team total in 4 of those 5. So I kind of think that we see under. I kind of think the Mystics defense can hold the Sparks offense down. I know the Sparks want to play super fast. The Mystics are one of the slower paced teams in the WNBA, of course. From a player prop perspective, I think Shakira Austin has been absolutely hooping. So either her or Kiki Iriafen should have a really, really big game. Kiki hasn't been playing as well, but one of those two should have a really, really big game in this spot. The Mystics don't. I'm sorry, the Sparks don't have a ton on the interior, and they also have revenge in this game. The first one saw the Sparks win as a 2.5 point home dog, as a 2.5 point road dog in DC. And I remember being on the Sparks in that game. And I forgot why, but it was like a terrible spot for the Mystics for whatever reason. And I couldn't lay points with them. So in this one, the full game is kind of difficult, but I think if I was betting, it'd probably be just a look towards the Sparks team total under 83.5 you can get right now. That's probably the way that I would look. Team total under for the Sparks. And I don't know. We'll see if Washington plays around with their food or not. They turn the ball over so much that it makes it hard to want to lay points with them because the Sparks want to get out and run anyway. So it's difficult for me to lay 7. But I kind of think that the Mystics can get back on the right track here in this one. All right, last game on the board is the Minnesota Lynx and the Las Vegas Aces. Probably the game of the day. Definitely the game of the day. So in this one, we got Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, Dana Evans, and Kirsten Bell all listed as out on the Vegas side of things. And then Minnesota, I didn't see anybody on the injury report for them. So Minnesota does have a 1-day rest advantage, 2 days to 1 compared to the Aces. Second straight road game for them. They played that last game in Portland, of course. 3 straight wins, 9 of their last 10 they've won as well. And that last game was interesting though, man. They kind of got offense got bottled up in the late in third quarter, and 29 point. I think they had a 29-point lead, a 19-point lead, quickly dissolved, and they were in a fight for their lives. Just couldn't score the basketball. The Portland turned up the defensive intensity, started pressing them. Minnesota started playing too fast. Cheryl Reeves was not happy about that performance at all. And then on the Aces side of things, back-to-back home wins. I just mentioned them against the Washington Mystics after that 5-game road trip in which they lost 2, kind of scheduled losses though. Minnesota did win the last time that these two teams played, but that was a Minnesota spot. We talked about that. That was like less than 2 weeks ago. I think it was the week before last. They covered that 4.5. They were at home. Vegas was playing their 4th straight road game and at a significant rest disadvantage. I vividly remember that. Vegas was also playing the first leg of a back-to-back as well. And then you go back to the game that was played earlier this season, the one that started. Vegas won that game at home, but they didn't cover. They were laying 3.5 in that spot. Both have gone over the total. Totals are actually 7-3 to the over. And Minnesota has played Vegas really, really well. They've won. They've covered 8 of the last 10 against the team, but then they land points on the road. So first thing I looked at was, because this line was, you could have got Minnesota plus 1.5 on a couple books yesterday when I was first looking at this. So that's the first thing I looked at was just them as road dogs, and 2-1 straight up, 3-0 against the number when they're getting points on the road. Now that has flipped now, of course. All of the money has come in on Minnesota, but it's not enough to really move this line a lot. I looked at them with the rest advantage this season, the 3-1 ATS. I looked at road. Well, actually, that's not even applicable anymore because they're not a road dog anymore. But I don't know, man. I think what I wrote in my notes was Aces they'll definitely want this one, but not being at full strength, I think is problematic when you're playing against probably the best team in the WNBA as far as offense and defense. Indiana is a really good offensive team, but Paige Becker showed last night you can get what you want against them, and this was when they were down a bunch of players last night. So I think Minnesota is the best team in the WNBA. For this one, I think that they are the right side. Do I think it's going to be easy? No, but I think that they can go in here and, prove to the Aces with the rest advantage that they can get the job done. I also just kind of look at who they played against recently. Minnesota played around with their food, but they were also playing against Portland in that last game. And the Aces, coming off 2 hard-fought games against the Washington Mystics, both of those games they had to fight for. Both of those games were really close. Single-digit wins in both of them, and they covered both as well. So I kind of think Minnesota. Well, not kind of. I think Minnesota is the right side in this game. As far as total goes, I'm gonna be a bit contrarian and say I like under in this spot, and it's a couple different reasons. One, the Aces are down a ton of bodies. Two, we know Minnesota can win with their defense and don't really need their offense. And we see that when teams turn up defensively against them, they can struggle. Even against the Portland Fire, like they struggled to score the basketball against the Portland Fire. The Aces defense is much better. They, were able to slow down the Minnesota Lynx offense a lot in that last game. And the other thing is like both games have gone over so far. So typically we got two really good, probably the best two coaches in the WNBA with Cheryl Reeves on one side uh, and what's her name, Becky Hammond on the other side. So I do kind of feel like they'll be able to make some adjustments based on what happened in the last game. I also looked at teams in revenge spots this season, coming off a loss by they've lost by. I looked at teams that were in revenge spots this season after the All-Star break, home dogs, and they actually 4-1 to the under. And then just big picture, like two really good teams, 60% win percentage or better, playing outside of playing after the All-Star break, but not in the postseason. And then they're home dogs, and that's a 62% under trend as well. So I kind of think this one goes under. And I kind of think that the Minnesota Lynx are the right side in this game. So if I'm betting, this is the one play that I like more than anything else. And that would be a look towards the Minnesota Lynx. I would take them on the money line, stay away from the small spread. Yesterday, I think they were minus 115. I think the line hasn't moved as much today. But let's go over really quickly to let's go over the outlier really quickly and look through a couple of these player props, because Jackie Young just kind of popped back in my head, and we had talked about how well she had been playing specifically against them. So if we go back, just get a refresh. We look at Jackie. Her points and rebounds, 23.5. Look at that. Over in 10 straight games. It's kind of crazy. Minnesota isn't the greatest rebounding team. You can see that they allow the sixth fewest rebounds, but Jackie's going to have to go down there and grab some boards. They also give up the third fewest points, but Jackie has been able to find some success. So this season, if we look at head-to-head, 28 points in that 28 points plus rebounds in that last game. She did have 16 points as well. So in my estimation, Jackie is in really, really good form. And this is what Jackson was talking about. Over in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know Minnesota still wants to play fast. And the way I think about the Las Vegas offense is if it's not Asia and it's not Jackie, then who is it? I mean, Chelsea Gray is still really, really good at this age in her career, but like Jackie's gonna have to shoot the ball a ton. If we go and let's just go look at these last 10 performances. So she is averaging 15 and a half field goal attempts. You can see that right here, shooting 54% from the field. So keep that number in mind, 15 and a half attempts. On a full season, she's averaging 13.9 attempts. So the attempts are up, not significantly. The field goal percentage is up, 54% versus 50 for the full season. Pretty sure the 3-point percentage is up too. We got 42% here, full season, 40%. So yeah, I mean, she's just kind of like matchup proof. I've been saying this for a while now. I like Jackie in this spot. Asia, I had on my list as well at 25.5. We'll see what she can do in that game. But I like Asia. I think Asia's in a really, really good spot as well. I do think Asia's in a really good spot. I don't think that they're going to double her. I think it'll be a lot of one-on-one coverage. Natasha Howard could be barbecue chicken today. So those are my thoughts, man. Quick little 3-game slate. Like and subscribe if you guys have not, especially if you find this show helpful. And let's get into a quick recap. And I have nothing for this first game. I'm sorry about that, but I have nothing for this first game at all. Need to wait on the injury report. I guess I would probably be throwing a dart and seeing if Connecticut, if they rule everybody in, even if Sabrina plays, I would be looking at Connecticut just the way that they got smoked in that last game, but not something that I know for sure I'm not betting Connecticut right now. I would need the injury report to help me out with that one. The next game was Washington. Oh, Sparks team total under 83.5. I do think that game is going to be played slower, and the Mystics can get the job done with their defense more so with their offense. And then this last game, I like Minnesota. Minnesota money line. Uh, Jackie, I would still be looking at though over 18.5 points. And then I showed you guys the over 23.5 points plus rebounds as well. Minnesota gonna have their hands full today, trying to guard her specifically. The rest of the team in Asia, I'm not sure about, but I do feel like it's a spot Minnesota should win today. And it's only a second road game for them as well. So top play is Minnesota money line. Yeah, definitely Minnesota on the money line. Just talking through my thoughts. Okay. Resources all listed in the description. Jackson Outlier, Moneyballer, Ajay. Make sure you guys are checking these out for your sports betting needs. And that's going to be it, man. Y'all enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the games. And I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, man.